So right now we are talking about former party girls who are now over the age of 40 and are just looking for someone to grow old with. They're just looking for their forever man, which is a new term I hear these chicks throwing around. I just want to find my forever man. It's just so hilarious to me that these former party girls who throughout their 20s and well into their 30s were going to these nightclubs, going to these venues, getting felt up by tons and tons of horny guys, mostly while they had a man at home, right? Because a lot of these former party girls often did have a boyfriend at home or an LTR or some guy that they were with that they were dating monogamously, that they were leaving at home while they snuck off to the clubs with their girlfriends. These girls partied their ass off throughout their 20s, 30s, and now that they're hitting their 40s and they realize they can't be running off to the clubs anymore because now they're competing against girls who are in their 20s. You can't compete with them. When they go to the venues now, they notice that a lot of these younger girls are even making fun of them, which I've seen these girls do plenty of times. Like, what is my auntie doing here? What is my mom doing here? What is my grandma doing here, right? And really like loudly so the girls can hear it too. Just really like super, super vicious like that. It's hilarious when I see that. These former party girls over 40, they're finally, now that there's no clubbing in sight, now that I'm too old to go to the clubs, none of these bad boys that I had in my 20s want to bang me anymore, I guess it's time to settle. It's like after all this, after all you've done, after the 20-year carousel ride that you've taken, you are now finally ready to settle for a good man. It is super, super hilarious when I see these chicks, and especially on these dating apps, like they create these dating profiles and you guys send me this stuff from time to time. Hilarious. Just like, it's so rich, it's insane, where these chicks are like, you know what? I've had my fun. I partied my ass off in my 20s and I just want my forever man and I just want to live happily ever after. The problem with this, ladies, the problem with this is that men your own age, especially men your own age, don't want you anymore. You had your chance with them and you blew it. You had your chance back in your 20s, you blew it. And even in your 30s, maybe you could have salvaged something and you still blew it. Now you're in your 40s, maybe you're even in your 50s. And you have to come to the realization the party's over. The only type of guys you're going to be able to get are super, super low value type males that don't have jobs, might be living on government assistance, welfare, living in a basement, maybe a cardboard box, don't have a car, don't have a pot to piss in, aren't going anywhere in life, and will probably just hook up with you so they have a place to stay for free so that you could pay for them, and you could feed them and shelter them. That's really what you're going to get, because high value males are not going to sell for you. Even older high value males, like if you're thinking, I'll just get an older man like my grandpa's age, those are good men. You find a guy who's like 65 who is retired now, who crushed it his entire life, and now he's retired, he has a big chunk of change, he has a lot of money, and he has a big house. Even that guy will be like, nope, I could get a chick who's in her early 30s. I could get a chick in her late 20s. Why would I need to be with you in your late 40s, right? Even that guy is not going to settle for you. So you're really doomed to like having low value men. And the sad thing about a lot of these former party girls over 40 as well is overwhelmingly most of them are single mothers. The overwhelming majority of these chicks are single moms, have kids out of wedlock. Worst case, they have kids, like multiple kids from multiple fathers. It's like my ex from 2006, multiple kids from multiple fathers. She's a prime example. That chick used to party too. She would go clubbing and then she started dating me and then she suddenly stopped. I always thought in the back of my head, when is she going to start doing this again? But fortunately, that relationship ended, but she was another one. Yeah, she could have been with a successful guy, but now she's over 40, single mom, 2 kids from 2 different fathers, massive damaged goods. And now she's doing like all this like plastic surgery to her face to try to hang on to her looks, and it looks super creepy. She's like injected her lips with this Botox shit, and she injected like collagen in her forehead, and now she's looking like Frankenstein. Yeah, it's really creepy. And that's something a lot of these former party girls do as well, that over 40. Like, in order to compete with the younger women, they will do the Botox, the lip fillers. They will start getting like treatments on their face. And yeah, it's really creepy. And then they start looking like a cyborg. They start looking like the Terminator, as I like to call it. And it doesn't look natural anymore. And it just looks gross. I mean, I've always told girls like that are older, like, oh, what am I supposed to do then? How do I age? I can't keep up with them. How do I age? And I tell them, just age gracefully, girl. Just age gracefully. Try to hang on to your femininity as much as you possibly can. Don't start hating men. Don't start getting resentful towards masculinity. Don't buy into the like feminist propaganda. Instead, just stay feminine. Okay? Be a good woman. Take good care of your man. Be supported. And you'll be able to hang on to a guy, right? Will you be able to get the same type of high value guys you did back in your 20s? I'm just going to be honest with you. No. Are you going to be able to get a high value guy your own age? I'll be honest with you again. No. The answer is no. You're going to have to settle for a low value guy, or just, hope for some miracle that, you do find some guy who has his shit together that is kind of just blue pill, right? It's just kind of a sucker and a simp, and you could probably pull that off, because I've seen some guys that are in their 40s and they're with a woman their own age, and it's usually because they hooked up when they were younger, right? It's usually they got married in their 20s, or he might have met her in her early 30s and they're still together, and it's one of those scenarios. But to land a high value guy your own age, especially if he's doing well, I mean, just from my own experience being successful, having a successful business, and attaining that and busting my ass my entire life to achieve this and sacrifice and all this, and I'm still in phenomenal shape. I have way more energy than ever before. There is no way that I'm going to settle for a woman my own age. I'm just not going to do that. What for? I get plenty of attention from girls in their late teens and early 20s. And I'm saying that. I mean, I go out enough. These girls give me plenty of attention, and they're not looking at me like, oh, so much older. Give me my dad. Give me my dad. Of course, every once in a while you get that, right? I do get that from time to time. It's usually from a really immature girl that I wouldn't date anyway. Even if she was in her 30s, 40s and acting like that, I would not date a girl like that. And there are plenty of women in their 30s, 40s still act like they're in 7th grade. I mostly go for younger women who are mature, just emotionally they're mature, intellectually they're more mature. They're kind of like what I call these old souls. They just happen to be younger, much younger. And those girls go for me, I go for them. I mean, that's even more reason for me not to date any woman my own age, because I don't have to. Contrary to popular belief, there's not really this huge generational gap, like, oh, you don't remember cassette tape Walkmans? As a matter of fact, like, even when we talk about that, they find it interesting. Like, wow, what was that like to have a cassette and put it in the Walkman? And I explain, I'm like, oh, I was in high school. I'm like, I had like a stack of tapes in my backpack. And then, of course, I get to learn about what it's like for her to grow up in, in the environment. It's a lot more emotionally stimulating than dating somebody your own age. And you're like, oh, yeah, I remember Billy Idol. I remember Billy Idol. Remember cassette tapes? I remember cassette tapes. Remember VHS players? Yeah. Did you have a Betamax? I had a Betamax, So a lot of these former hotties that are over 40 now, it's just comical how they just bypassed, they bypassed this their entire life. And now it's like finally they're at a point where they can't go clubbing anymore because they're getting shamed when they go clubbing. They're getting called cougars and being made fun of by younger women when they go out. They're not getting the same attention that they used to from those high value guys. Now they're at that point where they're like, oh yeah, now I want to find that forever guy I want to settle with. And God forbid you become one of these guys, right? You become the forever guy, because it ain't gonna last. There's a reason. I always say this, fellas. There's a reason she's still single. Okay? There's a reason for this. There's a reason. And it's not because she was a good woman, she was going to church, and she was reading her Bible. That's not the reason. The reasons are she rode the carousel, she was clubbing her ass off, and she was being hypergamous. That's why she's still single in her 40s. That's why she has kids out of wedlock. And that's why she's finally ready for you. She's hoping you're this blue pill simp, this high value, successful blue pill simp who doesn't know any better, right? Who is uninformed, that she can manipulate into becoming her beta provider and taking care of her multiple kids out of wedlock from multiple fathers. I looked at the statistics on these dating apps for like sign-ups and stuff like that, the majority of them are like a lot of these women over 40, right? They're desperate. They're just desperate to like find somebody because they know that window is closing, especially women in their 30s. So women in their 30s and 40s, they know that like that window is closing and it's closing fast. Whereas you should be thankful if you're a guy. If you're a guy, you don't have to worry about this, right? You're a guy, you don't have to worry. I mean, yeah, I'm a guy who's like, in my 40s now. I'm not worried one bit. I'm fine, right? I'm fine. I'm happy with the girls I'm dating. I mean, the girl I'm dating now, I'm here in Vegas, she's 19. As long as you keep crushing it as a guy, you stay on your grind, you become successful, you have social value in the world, you have influence, I mean, you're always going to be able to get hot girls. That's never going to change. But for women, they don't have that, they don't have that power because their sexual market value, their SMV, comes much earlier in life than ours does. Ours comes later, which is good because as guys, we're kind of immature and kind of stupid and goofy when we're younger. We would just waste that. Right? So it's kind of good it comes later in life and we get to really, really benefit from it and explore it and see what we're capable of. A lot of my students that come to me that are in their late 30s, early 40s, these guys think the party's over until they see me doing it. They see a brand new reality. It's like, wow, this whole world has been kept hidden from us by the Matrix, by the mainstream media. Because the mainstream very much wants you to save these women. They want you to save these former party girls over 40, these damaged females over 40. They want you to come in and rescue them because you're the same age. And if you don't, you're perv dating women 5, 10 years older than you, 20 years older, pervert. Right? They want to do all that shit. Midlife crisis, buying that brand new Corvette. Midlife crisis. It's like, no, dude, I'm doing me. Right? And I can do me because I can get away with that, right? Just as you can as a man. You can get away with it. Whereas women who are in their 40s, they can't get away with that anymore. You know who says so? Reality. If you happen to land a guy that at least has his shit together, he might not be like rich or anything, but at least he has his crap together. He has a decent job. He's employed. Just hang on to him. Hang on to him because that guy obviously does not realize his value. And he was probably blue pill. He's probably might be somewhat of a simp, but hang on to him and treat him well. That would be my best advice. So feel free to drop your comments below, guys. What do you think about these former party girls over 40 that are finally just looking for a man, looking for a guy to grow old with? I've had my fun. Tell me your stories of interacting with them, if you've seen them out, especially if you've seen them on these dating apps, especially you see them on the dating apps putting that in their profile. I just want my forever man. Just be a good man who can help me raise my children and little Joey. And be a father to them, and my ex-husbands were abusive, and save me. Let me know your stories. Drop them in the comments below. This is M from the 33 Secrets. Don't forget to smash that like button below. Go ahead and smash it right now. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so that you're notified not only whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on YouTube, but also whenever I live stream on YouTube. Okay? That's why you want to make sure you're notified, because whenever I live stream, I don't really announce it, I just go live. So if you're notified, you'll find out right away. You'll get on your cell phone like, M is going live, baby. I got to jump on. And then you'll get to ask questions. So make sure you hit the notification bell as well. And obviously, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a ton with the YouTube algorithm. Obviously, they don't like promoting this type of content. They just don't. So I need your help by subscribing to my channel. It helps me out a ton, and I would very much appreciate it. And for you guys who want to support all of this red pill, gold pill, and platinum pill content that I am teaching you even further, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months to Mastery, where I am teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the youngest, hottest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I'm talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s under the age of 30. 8s, 9s, and 10s, the hottest and most attractive looking women out there. Same type of women that myself and all of my coaching students all around the world now are out there approaching, closing every single week. And I kid you not, every single week we make this happen. regardless of what virus is going on, any racial division, any new president coming into the White House, right? We are making things happen, and we're continuing to grind and live our lives and pick up the hottest women out there. And this is the absolute best way to support my work. And right now, the first month is only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lesson from me. So take advantage of it. This is $1 for the entire first month. And all you need to do, really easy to get signed up, just click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video. Peace. I'm out. Just like a rap video.